As usual, we reviewed the videos just before we came. Oh, I tell you, I look at that and I say, it's just painful to watch us dance. Because we look so rotten. I mean, it just look clumsy, not smooth at all. And I guess what I concluded is that we should each dance a lot with you so that we know what our part should feel like.
Uh-huh.
And then marry it together. Because when we do it together, it's like, I'm looking at the videos and I forget to raise my heel up high so I don't have my knee here, so I'm just going heel, and just going flat heel, and I'm not doing this stuff. And, you know, when we're just practicing the step by itself, I can do this stuff. But then you actually do the dance and then it
Well,
all
yeah,
goes out the window.
and that's always like that. You know,
Yeah.
you have to drill it just to
Yeah.
get used to it, because once you have somebody standing in front of you, yeah, it's a whole
And
different
we just
thing.
look so clumsy that I said, I don't want to dance like that with people watching us. I mean, it's so bad. You know, when you look at the video, that's the beauty of the video. It gives
Yeah.
you a lot of self-awareness, you know.
Yeah, but it is easy to be very critical of yourself.
Yeah,
I know.
right.
If I watch the video,
I
I
don't
like
think
look
you
at
gotta be
myself.
critical. It's so obvious that we're bad.
That's pretty critical to me.
Yeah. So I think that's what we like to do today more. Because like when you're working with it, let's say take your heel back and curl the foot up, that's very helpful. But now you need to do that more with music in real time,
Right.
and drill it
Right.
till she gets it down so it's reflexive.
Yep.
Do the same with me.
Yep.
And then let's spend most of our time doing that kind of thing. You
Okay.
work with us individually,
Yeah.
and then I can film it closely. We can, get it down. Okay.
Right, because I already know my part. Makes it way easier. If two people still trying to figure it
Yeah,
out
right,
and
yeah.
figure it out with each
Right.
other. Yeah.
Okay, so put on some Tango music
Okay.
and start with Linda, and I'll film.
Okay, sounds like you have a plan.
Well, yeah, I'm the engineer trying to figure
I
out
know,
how to.
right?
I think we need to practice. And he says, no, we.
But in the hallway trying to practice with her, I don't think there's going to be much learned. You know, we've got too many limitations. The floor
Yeah,
of the
it is
hallway.
unfortunate that you don't have a spot to
You
practice.
can't do it, so
Yeah.
to me that's counterproductive. I'd rather wait till the lesson and try to do some really high intensity constructive practice here.
Okay, I think this is the one that we used last time. Then we use this a little bit slower. Yeah. So let me just do out here for a second. Yeah. Okay, and we're not with the music right now. Okay, so
Be waiting for your leg.
yeah, and bring your hands a little bit more in front of your body, your elbows. That's it. Okay, and now I'm going to go to this hold where we hold elbows. That's it. And again, make sure your elbows stay in front of you. There you go. Actually, you're doing pretty good, yeah. And then keep yourself back. There you go. Now I'm going to go to the basic step. Okay? And let me get it. Still here. Slow. Slow. Quick, quick, slow. 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 Quick, quick, slow. 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 Quick, quick, slow. 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 Quick, quick, and then that's it. So make sure that this stays. Slow. Slow. Quick, quick, slow. 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 Quick, quick, slow. 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 Quick. Now let me just stop you. That's it. And then go ahead and bring, there you go. So now our legs are close together too?
Yeah.
better though, huh?
Yeah.
Actually, that was easier definitely this time than last
Right.
week. Yeah.
I was remembering it.
Yeah,
I was like, oh yeah,
uh-huh,
let's put my foot
uh-huh.
behind here.
Yep.
Just toe up.
And I didn't get close to your feet.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
I think when you step back, your front foot is not curling up like it's supposed to. You know, the
I'm
toe's
not getting
supposed
the
to.
release?
Yeah, you're not releasing your front foot when
That's
you
so
step back.
easy to want to kind of hang on with your toes.
It's more flat. You keep it flat and slide back as opposed to lifting the toe up like that.
Oh.
I'll do it just a little bit more.
I was actually looking it up.
Let me see if I can see it in the mirror too.
I thought, oh good, I'm doing everything.
There you go.
Maybe I'm not looking. Oh.
Sometimes you do and sometimes you don't.
Well, it's not easy.
Yeah, but that's good that you can see it because you know what to look for
Yeah.
now, right? Yeah.
Okay, your turn.
Okay, you command the camera then.
Oh, okay. Get to take what he does wrong.
All right. And do you want to do like we did where we kind of start a little bit further
Yeah, that was
away?
really helpful.
And now, right now, do you see how you're kind of pushing?
right.
Yeah, see if you can keep it there. That's it. So we're just doing the walking. And then see if you can keep the hands the same. Move them away from you a little bit more. There, that's it. And just as you're going to take this step, you know, you have contact with the toe, I'm seeing. Just as you're going to take the step, think of pushing from the standing foot. Push, 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 push. So you're pushing yourself from the back foot. That's it. So go a little bit more rightward with your right foot. Whoop, not quite that much.
I got derailed going off the track.
I was going to say that man needed something, but left. A little bit more pressure into the heels of the hand. That's it. That's it.
It can be smooth after a little balance, a little unstable.
So,
I don't know why, like I'm kind of wobbling around.
yeah, because I started to feel like you were almost dancing on a tightrope.
Yeah, that's what it feels like. Like
Yeah.
I'm on a tightrope or something. And so,
So if you danced this way and you kept walking, you see how it would go a little bit this way. And you see now I can start curving because the right one goes, and the right toe, slightly toe inward with your right foot, especially when you're cornering. And now as we corner, toe inward with your right foot. Toe inward a little bit more. So it always has a little bit of a feeling of moving in this rightward direction. But if I toe in, that's what allows me to curve it. that feeling better? Yeah? Okay, so then let's just go to a practice hold where you have, yeah. Go a little bit closer, relax your shoulders down, and think about moving from your center point. And if we were going to curve toe in with the right foot, that's it. That's it. We can even do a pretty tight curve the more you toe in. Yeah. So if you want to curve it, just start toeing in. There you go. That's great.
Starting to feel better.
Yeah.
But it takes so much repetition
To get your body mind to take over.
Yeah.
So that you're,
It's still in my head.
yeah.
And I feel like I am still walking on a tight knee. I don't know why I keep. You know why? Because when I step over, you feel like you're doesn't.
Yeah, so that's why you have to also step over rightward with your right foot.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't want it to go too far,
right.
but if I go this way, you can see how it's moving.
Right.
And there is space, because that's where the lady's legs are in there, right?
Yeah, that's sort of like I'm losing my balance. I'm like gaining my balance.
So that was a little bit too much sideways on your second step, a little bit too much sideways. There you go. This, it's forward and just a slightly side, and turning the foot in like you're doing. And make sure that when you slide the toe that you do lift it off right before you step. And just as I lift it off, that's when I push from the back foot. And let's go ahead and do the basic steps separately one time, and then we'll go back to dance position. So we're going to go slow, slow, quick, quick, slow. So you can see if I do the basic, everything does travel to the right. And then I just toe in to go around the corner. We did talk a little bit last time, I just remembered, about closing to the instep. Yeah. So the left foot ends up slightly in front of the right.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah. So it's this way. Yeah. So when I close it, and it's because this tango is side and slightly back, so when I close it, it's already just a little bit back. It doesn't progress. Side and slightly back. Yeah. Yeah. Ready to try it together? And now loosen up the hold a little bit, because as I'm going backwards, you're pulling me into you just a little bit, so it's harder for me to take my steps backwards.
So when you say loosen the hold, just left side.
Yeah. So more tone. That's it. I just make sure I don't lift it up too high. See how we have tone right here? Tone right here against this hand, but not.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and it feels like you're kind of dipping over to the right. Do you see what I'm doing?
Yeah.
Stand up. Keep your head over on this side. That's it. Oops, sorry.
What?
So
See, but
slow.
like I can't feel your legs. I should be able to feel your legs,
Yeah,
right?
so when you lift it up and in, there you go. And then you're holding a lot of pressure on my back. That's it. Stand it up. So we're starting to drop over on this right side. That's it. And if I look at the back, these elbows need to be at the same height.
Okay.
Okay, that's it. You do that and still drop that. There you go. And still doing that. Yeah, so as you start dancing, you're starting to get it.
I'm trying to concentrate on so many things that get, like I'm trying to get the eye contact, and then I'm forgetting about the other
Yep.
part.
And then just standing up, that's it. Quick, quick, slow, slow, slow. Push into your step. Move, move, move and close. Move, move, move and close. Move. And loosen up the grip on my back. And then you push them down on the right. Then we just stop you there for a second. And bring your fingertips across my spine just a little bit more. And point downwards. There, that's it. But be careful of pulling me to you, because I'm trying to move away, and I feel, you see how I'm trying to move? But I feel like I have like the parking brake on, because you're not letting me move. That's it. So I'm kind of moving out of that space as you come into it, but if you hold me, I can't move out of your way. If you hold me too tight anyway. Stop right here. Relax this whole right side. Yeah. Because it gets tight and then it pulls me in and it kind of drops
The
in.
drill is very helpful, but
Yeah.
it still takes a while to really take effect, Work,
Yeah.
work with Linda for a while here. I've gotta
Yeah, and
go.
what I'm feeling when you move forward, so I can explain that to you, is, actually, let me just do even by myself. When you take your step forward, you see I'm putting my foot out there, but you see I'm back here.
Like the body isn't thrusting
And
forward.
I put the foot there and I need to
Yeah,
move myself into it, move into it.
yeah.
Right, and it's the legs going, but there's no power from
Yeah,
the back
yeah,
foot.
no.
And then you're a little bit backwards, and then you pull the lady into you, and she can't move out of your way. Right, so that, I'm over exaggerating.
No,
obviously.
that's the way it feels. So there were moments where it felt sort of right, but most of the time
Yeah.
it felt kind of
Yeah.
not right.
And I started just moving away from you. And because if you think about it, the lady has to actually move out of the space before you can move into it. But we want to make sure, like you tend to go before I go. Yeah. And then it's like, yeah. And then you might get stepped on because your foot would go down earlier, right? Yeah. Do you want music again?
But that was very helpful. I think about 10 more hours of that and I might be okay. It just slowly.
And you laugh about that, but it probably is.
Yeah.
To really get it to where you look at yourself and
Yeah,
go,
right.
oh, wow.
You mentioned something about the,
Yeah.
I forgot what it was.
Right, so it's the same for the men and women as far as which foot is where. So the instep, or the ball of the right foot goes into the instep of the left. And the reason being, one of the reasons is that where our knees are very close together. And if we're both like this, we're just gonna hit knees. But if you turn sideways a little bit so we can get that on the camera, you can see that your right knee is a little bit back. And if I do the exact same thing where my left foot is forward, my right, then we fit in here with our knees flexed. But if our knees were equal, yeah, it'd be, yeah, harder to get that space. Hey, that's better.
Good, yeah.
Yeah.
I even knew it.
Yeah, you even followed the cortege. Yeah. Yeah.
So every once in a while I remembered, oh yeah, I'm supposed to be lifting this foot up, but
Uh-huh.
I don't think I was consistent about it.
Uh-huh.
But-
And that, it's, when you lift up the foot, if I took a step back with my right, if I leave the toes on the floor, it keeps me stuck to that spot. But if I roll it, I can then move it, right? But if I lift the heel up and not the toe is like stuck on that spot. So I have to let the toes release so then I can move the foot. Yeah, so each time, and it kind of happens as I move away from the foot, it pulls it. Like I see sometimes when we first start doing this, I see something like this. Let's see.
Yeah, right.
Where it's like an extra little, but it's just that as I step back and as my body moves away, if I keep the toe down, my body can't get all the way over the back foot. Yeah, this just allows me to move, and because it's harder to move backwards to start with than it is to move forward. Yeah, that's one thing that allows you more movement to keep up with the man. Hi. Okay, so are you ready to attempt it together?
Sure.
You actually haven't done it together yet? Yeah.
Well, I thought I heard it click.
Up.
Look at the ceiling.
Do you want me to follow you guys as you go?
Sure, why not? It's all just,
Let's get it started the right way.
Okay, so we'll do it without music just to get started.
I'm putting my foot, now you wrong.
Yep, so you both have the right foot slightly back into the instep of the left foot. So slow, slow. And watch, Elliot, if you hold on to her too tight, then she's always like this and she's not going to release her toes. Yeah. She can't release her toes if you're holding her to you. Nice, that's looking better. and then watch
We're
the,
getting too close again.
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
getting, losing our form.
and, yeah, and so I could see that right side dropping down.
Uh-huh.
Oh, there's another one that needs to be tightened.
Yeah, there's two screws.
This one
That
and this
and then this one.
Okay. Oh, that one.
Yeah, that one gets tightened to it,
Ah, okay.
then it locks it down.
All right. Okay, so you want to try some music?
Yeah.
So it does gradually start to get
Yeah.
tight on the right side, you know, given that that's where you're holding on
Yeah,
to it.
right.
So making sure that that stays here and it doesn't start. And I always want to make sure that I stay on this side of her
Uh-huh.
and I'm not, you
Yeah.
see how I'm starting to go over there with you?
Uh-huh.
Mhm. And if I hold you tighter, it kind of pulls me towards you too, right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Okay, so let's
Okay.
do some music.
I gotta breathe 5 breaths so I can hold my breath.
Yeah. Take a few deep breaths before we start. And watch that you're not holding her to you. And pull up, Elliot, straight up like you're hanging from the ceiling. There you go. That's it. And loosen the grip on the right side. There you go. You want to try the double corte? Yeah. Good, good.
Feel like I'm prodding her again, I guess. Keep regressing.
Yeah, and you want to watch that because you're more relaxed into the knees.
Yeah.
It's easy to kind of relax the whole body.
Yeah.
Too. Rather than what I was saying too, think about still hanging. So no matter how deep I go into the knees, can you see how this part of my body tries not to change so it doesn't go?
Yeah.
Right, everything relaxes down. So I actually feel like the more I go down into the knees, the more I have to elevate
Uh-huh.
this top part, okay, so that it doesn't sink down.
I still feel
Yeah.
out of balance and I'm kind of wobbly, as opposed to, that's why I'm trying to push off and be more aggressive, but it's kind of.
No, I actually thought that looked better.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's
Yeah.
getting slowly better,
Yes,
but
definitely.
it's still not comfortable and smooth and, just.
And it's a lot of walking steps in that
Uh-huh.
basic, doing that basic over and
Yeah.
over, a lot of progression.
Uh-huh.
And that's why if you're not balanced as you're taking each one of those walking steps, and you can see if I do it in slow motion, another little tip is that as I step forward, can you see that where the back foot is? There's some balance helping me there. Balance in that back foot. And then when I bring it up, you can see that I'm still balancing on the tip of the toe.
That's the other thing, see, like, when you do that, I notice your back foot is really pointed.
Yeah,
And I don't do that, I go flat, flat.
yeah, yes,
You know?
yeah. But you were doing more then. Uh-huh.
Okay, you just gotta think about it.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Okay, so do you want to, how about working on the fan, the open fan, right?
Yeah, I took the wrong step when I did it.
And getting that fast enough
Yeah.
too? Yeah.
So, that's the problem.
Slow, slow, quick, quick, slow. Whoa! So here's a couple tips. When you start off, if we're going in promenade here, when I take the second step, I actually bring her around me and then send her out,
Ah, okay.
right? So that's how I get her close enough. So I'm going slow, slow, quick, quick, and
Okay,
slow.
I wasn't doing the closing.
Right?
Yeah.
Because if I do this, watch the difference if I go slow, slow.
Yeah, too much to cover, ground to cover in one move.
And this hand is
Yeah.
in the way, and you can't really get around it. But I like to bring it either down here, or I can leave it up. Actually, I think that worked better if I left it up for you. And then, remember where your side is? That's it. Yeah, and I know you're kind of looking to see what I'm saying. But as we go here, slow, slow, quick, quick, slow. Then slow, slow, quick, quick,
And the same one
slow.
there, to close her first.
Yes.
before you quick, quick,
Is there a pause when I'm over here, or do I just go?
When you're over on this side?
When I go to this way, is there a pause? Do I pause here?
Well, let me just get to this position again. There's two slows. This is the first one to get to here, and here's the second one. But it happens pretty fast because there's a lot that you're doing. On the slow, you're taking a step and pointing. So there's two different things that you're doing there.
So I'm thinking,
So there's not much pause. You have to kind of keep going through
gotta just change.
and slow. Yeah. So if I go slow, slow, quick, quick, slow, 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 quick, quick, slow. Mhm.
Okay, good, I wasn't totally clear on the specific moves.
Yep. Slow, slow, quick, yeah, much better. Slow, slow, quick, quick. And here's what happens at the end, that was much better. When we're out in this position, you can see how I'm a little bit angled
Yeah.
towards you, so we make like a W right
Right.
now. So if we took where your spine goes, if I drew a straight line
right.
out, and I drew, they should meet out
Right.
here, right? So when I take my step, I have to step towards that center point,
right.
and it's easy to go,
Yeah, right.
and I'm not gonna get any closer to my partner. So I'm gonna step towards the center, and then close, and then the tango close.
Okay.
Yeah. So you tend to do, and that's pretty common, is staying on the same track
Yeah.
instead of moving into a
Yeah.
track that's gonna meet, and that's where you're gonna meet and recover your position. Slow, slow, quick, quick, slow, slow, yes, yeah.
When we come together again.
Uh-huh. Ideally, in the best case scenario, when we did this part, and it stopped right here, do you see how close we are together? Then it's easy to close up right there. Yeah. Slow, slow, quick, quick, slow. Nice. Slow, slow, quick, quick,
Yeah,
slow.
that's better.
Yeah.
It wasn't quite right.
Yeah, but you can see those
Yeah,
important
yeah.
pieces of it to make the connection.
Let's try one more time.
Slow, slow, and quick, quick, slow.
My step was wrong.
Yeah, now if you're gonna do that
I
point,
fumbled through the step.
if you're gonna do that point, which we did add on, slow, slow, quick, quick, so you're here, then you're gonna go in, out,
Yeah, so my
In,
footwork was
out.
wrong somehow. I got on the wrong foot. Okay.
yeah.
So quick.
In, out. Yeah, that's it. And you kind of lifted your leg up high.
Yeah.
You can go in there. So this is like a number 4 if I do that, or you can come right down to your foot.
Slow.
Quick, and slow.
Slow.
Uh-huh. And when you send her out, I would say be a little bit careful how big your step is. So when you go slow, slow, quick,
Yeah.
right? So if your
Yeah.
feet are too far apart, it's going to be hard to get that.
Uh-huh.
So I'm going to travel, close, and then go ahead and close all the way. That's it. And then this, do you see how I'm going to step a little closer, open, and to there. Instead of taking a
Yeah.
really big step and then your feet end up too far apart.
Slow. Quick, slow.
Definitely better, yes. Yeah, right? More control. Mhm. And then, so double corte. When you do the double corte, I'm noticing that when you step into your left foot, you're kind of lifting
Yeah,
your right
and
foot.
I don't step
And then
back
it
far
comes
enough.
forward.
Yeah.
So it's forward, back, right? So I have to make sure that that right foot, but when I step into the left foot, if I'm looking into the mirror now, do you see how my body is kind of in between both feet? Because
Uh-huh.
it's more of a checking action.
Right.
So if I go all the way here where I can lift that
Uh-huh.
foot up, that means I've gone too far into the forward step.
Okay, let's try that. Double corte, right into it.
Quick. See, you still move, you did this, quick.
Okay, so I came up and then I thought I was taking a big step, but really, it
You
should
took a
just
big
be
first
quick,
step.
Quick, no, wait a minute. Wait a
So,
minute. Quick, slow. Quick, slow.
yeah,
Well,
so
that should go
quick,
Okay,
Uh-huh.
I can step back instead of.
quick. Do you see how there's still the same amount of space between my feet instead of, yeah. And you shouldn't take enough weight into your left foot that you could lift your foot that high, because my weight's kind of almost central between both feet. Mhm. So if you do that rock one more time, so if you do that rock, and I'll keep your shoulders here, now keep turning. Yeah, I'm sorry, besides making you dizzy, can you feel how
Yeah.
it's like the head almost stays in the same central point to keep rotating instead of going,
Okay. Let's try.
yeah. Keep your head back. And now try rotating it a little bit more.
I'm still not, the right foot is not doing quite good.
Yeah, and here, I'm going to give you a little trick that I think about doing. I'm going to do it semi-closed so you can see my legs. So if I'm here facing you, if I start, you see how I'm starting to take my knees, my right knee to the outside of her knee? So I'm going to, almost like I'm going to slip to the outside. But when I do that, I'm going to take my step and start turning my knees. And that helps me to take, so if I go and then try to turn, right? But if I start turning my knees and then stepping, turning my knees, there you go, and then stepping. Get all the way on it. And point that and come under, that's it. Does that make sense? So start rotating your knees to the left before you even take the step. So ever so slightly, start turning. Now step. Yes, that's much better. And again, turning. Much better. Whoa!
I got ahead of myself and I exaggerated the.
Yeah, I think we all, this is the only
Yeah,
two
yeah.
anyway.
So you're just going to keep doing it.
Yeah, exactly. Keep going.
Well, I was just trying to get the move down right.
Yeah.
So I exaggerated, which you can't do that. You have to just do just the right amount.
Yeah, can I do it with you a couple times? Okay, and again, make sure that you're and step, that's it. Okay, so start turning your knees, that's good. Now, your second step was still a little bit forward. So you got a really good turn, but this foot slid up here, and I have to step forward. So if we both step forward, we're gonna crash right there. So start your knees, go back. Yeah, do you see where, I put my foot there on purpose so you can see where my foot is. So you can't step there, right? You have to do the back step instead of, so back.
Whoa, that's not good. Something's
Because you went forward with your left foot. So let me do it out here one time. So you start turning your knees, back, forte, that's it. Start turning your knees, back, forte, that's it. Start turning your knees. Turning your knees.
Not quite right. Why is it
So
hard?
it has to stay, do you see that same thing that I did when we rotated around? Your body stayed more centralized in the middle. You're still doing,
Yeah.
and when you
yeah.
come up here, it pulls your back leg
Yeah,
up.
yeah, no, I'm like a wobbly top.
Okay, start turning your knees first, but watch that you don't lean in. So start turning your knees. That's better. Keep your eyes on. There we go.
Okay, that's doing better.
Yeah. You're worn out. Take a breath.
It is so. You kind of wonder how they do the Dancing with the Stars. How can they
They
dance
put
with
a
these
lot of
things?
hours
Yeah, I
into it.
know, but
Yeah.
it takes more than hours. Takes,
Yeah, and they have a teacher that does a lot
Yeah.
of work for them.
It's like we do.
Yeah. Now, you're swinging your left foot around a little, because you're getting a lot of rotation right now, which is, when you go, this foot is kind of swinging back behind your left foot, so you want to stop rotating. Once you land on your right foot, then you actually don't want to rotate. So you see how my left foot is here? It's
Yeah.
not swinging around behind. And that's all. You just got into the turn and kept turning. So you got this nice turn here and no turn. But go ahead and put your weight on it, though. Put your weight on the back foot.
Oh, see, yeah, I think my weight on the front foot sort of, so.
You weren't doing that before, but when you were trying to change the rotation. That's better. So when you, if you just step back into the corte one time, just step into the corte. Yep. Into the corte. Push this arm up. Okay. And balance over that left foot. There you go. Uh-huh. Yeah. So your right foot should be straight, like a lot of times, yeah, and the right heel off the floor like you have, yeah. But this leg is straight and you're in contact with the inside edge. Yeah. Oh, let me stop that. Should stop now.
I'm not really starting the rotation as much. Yeah.
But you're getting a lot more rotation because before you were just doing
Yeah,
this,
yeah.
right? Yeah.
But I'm doing a sloppy wind up. I mean, it's not quite.
To start
Yeah, yeah.
the
just
rotation before
yeah,
you take the
just-
step?
I'm sort of more or less just launching into it, and I'm not doing a pre-rotation, so to
Yeah,
speak.
actually, so I thought you did pretty well with that. That was one thing that, so you're standing on your right foot and you're rotating in. Rotating in. Uh-huh. Now, get all the way over, that's it, your foot.
Can you see the videos?
Uh-huh.
Do you like it? You're not even let's go, let's. You're not?
Yeah. Yeah, that's better, huh? Yeah, because before you just did this.
Yeah.
It looks way better.
I'm very happy.
I'm, really?
I'm very
That's
happy.
Quick, quick, slow, slow.
I mean, I
Quick, quick, slow, slow. Quick, quick, slow, slow. Quick, quick, slow, slow.
Feels a lot better.
Quick, quick. Yeah, looks much better. Boom. Yeah. And sometimes you start doing this. Do you see how my left foot,
Yeah.
I'm more over
Wait, just move that.
instead of here. And remember, you should be able to lift up that foot. But if you're here, you wouldn't be
Yeah.
able to, right? Yeah. And you should be able to lift up this one. You could even do a flick there if you wanted. Yeah. Yeah. So if you did this, it used to be popular to do that when we were moons ago. Yeah. A little flick. Yeah.
Okay, let's try to do the whole basics. The whole thing. Well, first we'll do it. Let's just see. We'll do that.
And like then when you do that step right, it's just I would love this part to hinge the arm and then halfway sprint, right?
No, I was going to approach it by 2 steps.
That's the hand that is too high, it should be a little bit low.
Should she be leaning back some more or something? I feel like I'm leaning back.
Yeah, so you want to make sure that this doesn't mean that you have to lean way far back, but you tend to do that, right? Uh-huh. Yeah. Mhm. And I like where you're looking, like sometimes I think you look all the way here, and I think that actually brings you forward because it twists you too much. Yeah. So you're looking right here. Where are your watches? Yeah.
And that's it. Look, with one more. It's like a more like reach, not just here, but reach from the shoulder. Mm-hmm.
It's very rough. I mean, I detect little mistakes that I make all along the way. Yeah, but it's hard to execute it just right. Just like
Yeah, it's very similar to that, right?
you think you're doing everything right, and then you screw up one little piece, and the whole thing
When you
falls
go
apart.
forward.
And you can see that you don't get everything right, the ball
Yeah, right,
doesn't
yeah.
go where you want it.
Yeah, that's the way I kind of feel about
You
this.
get immediate feedback.
We got some pieces going right, but the swing is not very smooth.
It's more than squeezing
Yeah.
it,
Yeah.
really stepping.
But I think we got a lot more, and I really liked how well you picked up on turning the knees first before. And it's just minute, but it makes a huge difference instead of getting
Yeah.
there and then trying to turn it.
Just a few minutes just with the music.
See
Yeah.
how you're stepping that foot in front and it looks, you're on it? See, but just think of really stepping, like you do it here, for example. See, you're on it, now you're not. You're on it, then you do this over. Here
was much better. Yeah,
Yeah.
the turning corte.